people just bringing up the topic of nuclear energy conjures up images of America's 3 Mile Island reactor meltdown or the Chernobyl accident in the Ukraine, or even more recently, Japan's Fukushima. More than 50 years after the world's first nuclear power plant started generating electricity in the former Soviet Union, one of the biggest growth opportunities in the nuclear sector isn't building reactors, it's tearing them down. CCTV's Shraysi Tandon reports.
Last month, Louisiana-based energy company Entergy Corporation announced it was closing its Vermont Yankee nuclear plant next year. That's the 5th U.S. reactor scheduled for decommissioning in the last 12 months, setting a new record for the number of reactors shut down in a year. According to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the cost of decommissioning reactors in the U.S. ranges from $300 million to $600 million per reactor. Costs are higher elsewhere. Last year, Germany's biggest atomic operator, E.ON, set aside around $18.6 billion to decommission 8 reactors. That's roughly $2.3 billion per reactor.
The Vermont Yankee plant has announced that they've got decommissioning funds and estimates a little in excess of $500 million. So it's just one reactor. Other facilities are around that same, where it's roughly $500 million per reactor. Again, it would depend on each plant and exactly what they've got in front of them in order to do that job.
The disposal of nuclear reactors is lucrative business because of how challenging and dangerous the projects can be. Tearing down a nuclear plant can sometimes take up to 10 years.
The skills they would use, obviously, are construction type workers to break apart concrete, cut through steel. Then you also have a lot of radiation safety professionals. With the radioactive materials, you want to make sure they're contained, they don't spread or disperse.
Lately, public opinion around the world has become strongly against nuclear energy, particularly after the tsunami damage to the nuclear reactor in Fukushima, Japan in 2011. But despite the opposition, nuclear power capacity is steadily increasing worldwide. According to the World Nuclear Association, 60 reactors are currently under construction in 13 countries. Most of these reactors are on order in Asia, particularly China, which is the world's fastest growing energy consumer. But there are major plans for new units in the United States.
I actually think that what we're seeing now with the decommissioning is a phasing out of the old, but perhaps welcoming of the new. And to me, as an energy strategist, looking at natural gas prices at 40-year lows, you have to think about starting to prepare about what comes next now, not 20 years from now, because natural gas prices are not going to remain at 40-year lows.
Many experts argue that the time for atomic energy is here, especially as global energy consumption continues to grow. So with every nuclear reactor these so-called trashmen take out, they're paving the way for a new one to take its place. Shraysi Tandon, CCTV, New York.